My name is Danny, and I get secretly married and don't tell anybody. All right, today we're here with a get ready with me. This is not a professional video. I am not a professional makeup artist. I really need to get that off my chest, you guys. And I'm pretty sure I say that in this video like 19 times. I wanna make sure because I don't want this title to be misleading. This is a get ready with me where I show you how I did the makeup that I wear on the day that I eloped with Parker. That's it. There is no connection. I'm not trying to say this is a longevity tutorial. This isn't a video that's gonna tell you the best products for your wedding day. No. These are just my favorite products that I just happen to group together that I use often together a lot. Often and a lot are the same thing, right? Maybe? No? Sorry, ESL moment. These are products that I've partnered together or grouped together before. I've done this look for meetups before. It's just a combination of colors that I really enjoy. I think it gives that same effect of like a dark smoky eye without being dark and brooding and sexy. I wanted to sit down and do this look for you guys because so many of you guys asked me what lip color and what eyeshadow I was wearing when I did the announcement on Instagram. Now, if you guys are here for the whole wedding announcement video, that video is already live on my channel and I will link it in the description box below. And that's where I talk to you guys about the dress, the shoes, the photographer, which wedding album company we went with, all that stuff. It's short and sweet, it's to the point. Well, nothing is short and to the point around here, but you know what I'm saying. But if you want to see how I got this look and a couple of useful tips and tricks along the way from a non-professional, non-makeup artist, then all you have to do is keep on watching. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. This is simply the makeup that I did for an elopement, like a courthouse wedding, something where I needed my makeup to last maybe 4 hours. Did my makeup hold up a lot longer than that? Absolutely, and I'm actually gonna show you guys, but it's not a wedding tutorial. So like if you accidentally found this video and you're like, yeah, this is a how to do my makeup for my wedding that lasts, 23 hours, this is not the right place. I'm just gonna show you how I got those colors to show up on this face. That's it. We all have certain products, certain looks, certain things that make us feel pretty. This is a combo of those products that always does that for me without fail. So the first product that I'm going in with is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. This has SPF 15. It is a white product, so you want to use a very, very small amount. I like to use it almost like a lightweight moisturizer. I start off in the center of my face and my chin, forehead, and then kind of smooth it out. So it does, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it does leave a little bit of a shade to it. But the reason that I like this product as a primer, which it's intended as a primer, the reason that I like it is because it creates this really soft, silky feeling to the skin. So any product that you go in with after, it really creates a soft, smooth canvas for it. So foundations and concealers and everything that you apply after you apply this, it just creates a very nice, smooth sandwich. I know you guys come here for the amazing use of the English language. English is my second language, so we say silly things around here. I also use the Osmosis Performance Wear Satin Foundation. The reason that I reached for this product for this particular occasion was because it's my closest shade or skin tone complexion shade right now because I am tan. And also it has a very beautiful satin finish. I don't know, as I've gotten older, and we've talked about this before, it's mirror time, you guys. Y'all know I'm almost 36. I need my magnification. As I've gotten older, I can't do really matte products on my skin. I feel like it's not friendly on my skin. It emphasizes dryness, it emphasizes fine lines, it emphasizes pores. And so anytime that you're going in with a really matte product, unless you have super oily skin, it's not gonna be your friend. It's not gonna play nice, and it's only going to make your skin look less attractive than it could be, if that makes sense. So unless you have super oily skin or you go in with a really mattifying, a really moisturizing, hydrating primer or product underneath, mattifying products, the older you get, the less forgiving they are. So you really want to make sure that your skin is very well exfoliated, very moisturized, very hydrated. You've drank a lot of water, you've slept enough, etc., etc. All the stuff that our parents would tell us growing up, our moms or grandmas, like make sure you get enough sleep, make sure you moisturize, make sure you wash your face before bed and never sleep with makeup on. All that stuff, it's all true. Okay, I went in.
Sorry, I don't know that one. By the way, I can learn your voice to improve your Alexa experience. Would you like to try it?
Alexa, I'm busy right now. I think I hurt her feelings. That is so bizarre. I didn't even know she was listening to me right now. I literally have her in here because I needed a clock. All right, so what was I telling you guys? Oh yeah. I went in with the thinnest layer of this foundation, you guys, the thinnest. I wanted that when my picture was taken on this special day, you could see what my skin looked like at 35. I am a big fan of looking how you look at that age and time. I use this concealer because, again, Shape Tape, not my friend anymore, and this is the closest that I've come to the pigment and coverage of Shape Tape. So this is gonna give me the ultra duty, super heavy duty, heavyweight coverage, but it's not going to be drying like Shape Tape is because we are no longer a spring chicken. And you guys, I don't want you to think that me talking about my age is a reflection of how I feel about it, or in no way denotes a negative position about getting older. That's not the case. I like my age. I like how I look for my age. I like that the older I get, the cooler stuff I learn, the wiser I get, you know what I mean? But I do like to emphasize that a lot because I think it's a reality of this community is we're not all the same age. You know, we're not all 22 with beautiful skin going to get spa treatments once a week. That's just not the case. I'm at home, sometimes I forget to wash my face, I'm stressed out, I stress eat, I have young kids at home, you know, I get anxious. So we wanna make sure that when we're talking about products, you know, and you're trying to, what's the word, relate. When you're trying to relate, that I'm actually relatable. That I'm like, hey, listen, use this, like the caffeine serum from The Ordinary. I think it's like $5. Holy crap, that product is amazing. I got mine at Ulta. It's basically an eye serum. You put it on before your eye moisturizer, and then I'm gonna go in with whatever's left on the sponge, and I'm gonna do a little bit of extra coverage on my chin because stress eating, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's lots of texture happening down there. Then I'm going to carry it down the center, take off any excess again, gently. And then what am I doing with my what's going on over here? And then I'm going to bring it up through the center of my forehead. And so I don't have to go in with so much product because I can multi-purpose whatever I'm using on my skin. So that extra concealer that I had is also going to be my eyeshadow primer, and it's also going to be my highlighting concealer for my chin, for the center of my nose, and the center of my forehead. So we are not overdoing products. I wanted to make sure that I didn't use heavy products on my skin because immediately after our elopement, we were driving out of town to Oklahoma and we were gonna do cool stuff like zip lining, and I didn't wanna have like 42 pounds of makeup, you know? Okay, then I went in with the Flawless Finish powder for my under eyes. Do you see Wesley back there? Just chilling, just hanging out. He's so sweet. We're gonna go in. Do you see how much I grabbed? That's gonna be enough for both of my under eyes and probably the center of my face. So when I do this on my under eye, I make sure that I have an expression that spreads out my skin rather than scrunches it together. So if the expression that I'm doing is like this, do you see all that creasing that's happening? That's settling cream product into my fine lines, and I want the product to be spread out. So let's go back in there, and all that expression settled cream product into my fine lines. So let's bump it out. See that? When you do that, it settles. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look up and we're gonna push the product in. Same up here. And then once it's bumped in, or once you've actually set the cream product, then you can go in with kind of bumping it all out, smoothing it out. Now I do want to add a few things. One, I've told you guys before, if you're new here, I am not a makeup artist. I have learned to do these things on my face over, I don't know, 20 years of experience doing my own makeup on my own face. So I only know what works for me, and I've learned it from failing miserably a lot. Going back and looking at pictures on how I used to draw my brows. And I'm not talking before YouTube. I'm talking still while on YouTube, mistakes that I would make while I was already talking to you guys about makeup. So this isn't something where, you know, I've never prided myself. I've never prided myself in my expertise on makeup. I just think I believe in the power of it. I believe in how good it makes you feel, how it can completely change your mood, how it can be relaxing, how it's almost like a yoga where it de-stresses you and it gives you a hyper focus on something that is in fact vapid, but can completely turn around your mood and your confidence. So take my advice with a grain of salt. It's just what I've learned to do on my own skin. Okay, for brows, I am gonna jump off camera and do it, but I am gonna tell you which products I plan on using, or rather used, for the elopement. I went in with my trusty $2 e.l.f. eyebrow pencil in the shade Taupe, and then I followed up with the Tarteist brow gel. I was feeling a little splurgy, you know. I usually use the Essence brow gel, but I decided, you know what? It's your wedding, so why don't you use the $20 one? Actually, I really love the brush on this one a lot better than the Essence one because it's so small. So I feel like it gives you more control, and I could really go in and deposit a lot of the gel without messing up the pencil that I've already drawn on my face. So I'm gonna jump off camera, do my brows, and then I'll come back and show you how I did the eyeshadow look. All right, you guys, for purposes of this video, let's just pretend my brows aren't as bold as they look right now, and they are a little bit more symmetrical than they actually are. Let's just for giggles, you know, I really wanted to say something else, but I'm trying to be polite. I'm gonna go in with any, whatever loose powder you have on hand, and this is just because I already spent all that time doing my beautiful base. I don't want to mess it up by, you know, going crazy with my eyeshadow, which is what we're gonna do. I mean, let's be honest. So for eyeshadow, this is a look that I've done before. It is something that I'm very familiar with. It is a combo that I'm a huge fan of. Since the Naked Heat came out, this is my go-to look with this palette. They're probably like the only colors that I use out of this palette. The good thing is that I don't have to reach for anything else, so there's an advantage. I'm gonna go in with the lightest shade in the palette. It is called Ounce, and a flat shader brush, and that's going to be the color that we use for the brow bone highlight. Again, I don't want to necessarily be coy with my eyeshadow, which is why I do the extra powder. So if I want to be a little more aggressive with the amount of shadow that I grab, I can do that, and I don't have the concern that I'm gonna mess up my makeup. So that's why we do so much powder. Plus it helps blend out any fallout. And if you guys are a fan of baking, it also does help bake your under eye just a little bit. So I'm going in with Ounce, and then after that, this is the best, favorite, the most important step in the entire eyeshadow look, and I think this is why I like the look so much. My favorite eyeshadow sticks ever in the entire universe, and I know that's a big statement since there's so many eyeshadow sticks out there, but the best formula that I have found is from Laura Mercier. These are the Caviar sticks, and this is in the shade Burnished Bronze. It tends to sway a little burgundy, it sways a little bronze, it sways a little brown, it sways a little... It's one of those colors that depending on what you layer on top, it is going to work, and it is awesome. You do have to work fast because they do set, and so I do one eye at a time. I got this comment a lot too when I started my channel, and I used to be a lot more makeup heavy. So generally speaking, 99% of my content was makeup related. Just eyeshadow, lipstick swatches. Like, I mean, I was on it. New product that came out was a new product that I reviewed. I became very familiar with the formula of these. Do you see how it's like super, super garnet shade right now? I became really familiar with types of products within each category. So Rimmel, Scandalize, they have really good eyeshadow sticks as well. And I'm not sure where I was going with that statement, but anyway, I discovered Burnished Bronze from Laura Mercier, and it is my favorite eyeshadow stick formula and color. And the funny thing is that it wasn't on the Sephora site for years, and I always thought it got discontinued. Well, it turns out it was just a flaw on the tech side, and they just never listed the color, which is hilarious. And I found this out because I went to a Laura Mercier dinner, and I told the girl, I was like, man, I'm so disappointed you guys discontinued my favorite eyeshadow stick. She's like, what are you talking about? So I told her Burnished Bronze. She's like, no, it's not. It's one of our best sellers. And I was like, well, then why is it on Sephora's website? She's like, it's not. Long story short, it is now. So we're gonna go in with this one. I've probably used 3 of these in the last, what, couple of years. It's just my favorite color. It's so nice. Now, you guys, when I use this eyeshadow stick, I concentrate it heavy on the lower half of my eyelid, just the lower half. And then when I blend, I only blend the top half. So I don't touch the eyelid, the actual lid, when I'm blending. So you see, it's almost like a half moon. I only focused it on my párpado móvil, the one that moves. Your eyelid that moves, that's the name of it in Spanish. A synthetic brush, and then I only go around the edge of the cream eyeshadow. So only around the crease, that's it. And all I'm doing is kind of blurring it out, kind of erasing the harshness of where I applied or where the eyeshadow stick ends. I'm not blending it out carefully, I'm literally just blending it out so it's not a harsh line. See that? It was just kind of like just a blend out with a synthetic brush. Super important that it's a synthetic brush because it does a better job at blending out the creaminess. The eyeshadow. This is a Delia Tool 781. It's a synthetic brush. I have the whole purple collection, and this is like the only one that I use. It's my favorite. Going in with Heat from Urban Decay and a fluffy eyeshadow brush, Sigma E40. We're gonna go in with the color Chaser. That's the second lightest shade. And I like to kind of bounce back and forth between Chaser and Sauced. So these 2 colors here. I like to go back and forth between these 2. I dip a little in one, I dip a little in the other. And all I'm doing is kind of creating a custom shade for my transition color, just so that it is nice and blendy. We're gonna go in with darker colors, but we wanna make sure that we're able to go in with darker colors because the space is blendy and blurry. I don't know how I came about with this color combo. I don't know why I like this shade as my preference for like a smoky eye. I do like a black smoky eye. I love a charcoal smoky eye, and I love a navy smoky eye, which are the most common shades of smoky eyes. But for some reason, when I want to go with a sultry eye look or something that looks, I hate to say sexy because I don't consider myself sexy, but when I want to do a more intense look, something that is dramatic but elegant, I love to go with like a burgundy, bronzy, garnet combo. I don't know, I feel like it dances really well with brown eyes, maybe with my skin tone, I don't know, it's just my preference. I think honestly it's just an excuse to use burnished bronze. So we're going in with those 2 colors, and we're just gonna kind of play around with it, go back and forth until we are satisfied with how blendy it all looks. After we do that, we're gonna do a pop of color on the lid, or rather intensify the lid, and then move on to the lower lash line. So it's kind of one of those things where it's a labor of love. You just go back and forth, play with color until you reach the desired look or intensity of what you're going for. we're gonna go in with a thinner blending brush like this one. This is a 217. The number's scratched off. I think this is a 217 from MAC. We're gonna go in between these two shades here, En Fuego and Cayenne. I don't remember which one of these. I think it really just depends on my mood that day, what I'm feeling, which color I reach for or which one I use. But this is going to be the color that we concentrate in this area here, in the outer V, or rather the crease. You can kind of play around with it however you want. And so we do that, and then we go back to this one and then buff that out again as well. So like I said, it's kind of one of those things where it's like when you're cooking and you do salt and you add a little bit of salt and then you taste it for seasoning and you're like, oh, I think it could use a little more salt. So you add salt and then you're like, no, it still tastes a little flat. Let's go in with some oregano, and you do some oregano and then you see how it tastes and then you're like, oh, you know what would be really nice in here? Some crushed chili flakes. And so you add some crushed, it's the same exact thing when you're doing your makeup. It's not gonna look perfect the very first time you do it. You kind of have to play around with it and move stuff around and blend, and then try again, and then change something out, and then maybe buff a little bit of the color out and try again. So it's one of those things where you can't go in, boom, black eyeshadow out the gate, you know? You gotta build it up slowly. Like right here, I grabbed a little bit too much shadow. Do you see the difference? This one looks super sloppy and like a big wave of color versus this one's a lot blendier. So all of that has a solution, and the solution is easy, but you know, it takes time. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now we're gonna go in with this one again and the same shades that we were playing with. Kind of blend it out because that one's a little aggressive. And all of this blending that we've been doing would have been ruining our foundation had we not had all that dusting powder that we did at the bottom. Do you see how quickly that fixed our issue? Same on this side. I think I'm satisfied with this. Now we just have to go in with the lid shade. And for the lid shade, I like to go in with one of the metallic colors in this palette, or shimmery colors. And that is, again, depending on my mood, I go between these three shades right here. So do you see when I turn the palette how each of them has a tone? This one's more gold, this one's more orange, and this one's a little bit more pink or red. So depending on what tone concentration you're going for is the one you're heading for. Now, if I wanted to do a really dark smoky eye, I would go in with Ember, the last one here. Do you see how that one has a deep base to it? If you look at your palette sideways, they all have a different base shade to them. So I'm gonna go in probably with Scorched, maybe with Ember, but for that day, the particular day we're talking about, our wedding day, I used Scorched. So I put some on my middle finger, and then I'm going to press that onto just my eyelid, only my eyelid. You see that? Oh, I'm sorry, are we boring you? Did you guys hear that? Wesley's bored. We're gonna press that, press that, press that, and it's going to emphasize or highlight that beautiful color that we had already put from Laura Mercier, the burnished bronze. So we're just kind of creating a pop of color. Now, if you're like, Dani, you know what? That's a little too bright. I wanna go a little sexier. I wanna go deeper, darker. Go to the end of the palette with Ember. I'm so tempted to just show you what it looks like, because we're already here, you know, but I'm like, oh, that wouldn't be authentic. I'm not replicating the look, you guys. Okay, now I need to deepen this little area here. So I'm gonna go in with the smaller blending brush one more time. I'm gonna do a little tap, 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 tap. You know, the funny thing is, like, I love to do my eyeshadow and I can go in with 40 different colors and it's super fun. But when it comes to like coloring or painting or ceramics, anything that's manualidades or like crafts, with the exception of paper crafting, like using a Cricut, I'm terrible. I mean, terrible is an understatement. I am horrendous. Like, I can't paint, I can't draw, I can't watercolor, I can't color. I am not patient, or I don't know what my thing is, but like with art, stuff like that, I'm not good, but on my eyes I could play for hours. But then I kind of just get to the point where I'm like, I'm done. That's it. That's as good as it's gonna get. Take a naked, clean powder brush, dust off any of that excess powder, and you want to do it as gracefully as possible in the same direction, because if you go back and forth, if there's any color on there, you're going to blend it into your skin instead of off of your skin. So blend away, blend away, blend away. Do you guys hear the landscaper? It happens every time. I think I'm just gonna deal with it. Anytime I film, anytime I'm on a call, it's like, oh, landscapers. For the lower lash line, it's so easy. You guys, seriously, super easy. Take that same burnished bronze and you're gonna go super carefully. I mean, carefully. Can y'all be quiet? That'd be nice. They can't hear me. As close to the lash line as possible. In your waterline, if at all possible. Now, some people are sensitive and they can't really do this. I can, but my eyes water just a little bit. Do you see how far I went? About 2/3 in. Same thing on the other side. And I don't care about it drying out on me because it's in the waterline, so it's gonna take a hot minute to dry out on me. And then we're gonna go in again with that synthetic brush. And we're gonna kind of just give it a little smear. This isn't a blending out. We're not doing anything super carefully. There's no technique involved. Anybody can do this, you guys. All I did was smear it, like rub it, smear it, blend it out. It's just so that it's even. Because you have concealer there and powder and you want to make sure that it's not crusty and creasy. You're just kind of blending it out. That's it, see? Wow, you guys. I'm telling you, super professional around here. You guys, so I jumped off camera after we finished doing our eyeshadow and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my mascara off camera because you guys don't need to see me apply mascara. I'm gonna show you guys which one I used for the special day for a specific reason, one specific reason alone. And I was like, I'm gonna jump off camera and by the time I'm done doing my lashes, because it usually takes me forever, the landscapers are gonna be done. They're doing 2 side-by-side houses. Good for them, not good for us. If you cannot hear it, then that is fantastic. If you can, I'm sorry. But we just gotta move along. Okay, so the mascara that I used is the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions. And I wanted to use this one because if there was an off chance that in a 5-minute courthouse elopement where we're not even saying our vows, that I have a freak out and I start crying because it is a very special moment, I wanted to make sure that the mascara that I used wasn't one that was gonna make me look like I was in a Mexican telenovela. You know what I mean? Where they cry and then all of a sudden it's like 2 black rivers streaming down their face. I wanted to make sure that that didn't happen. And the cool thing about Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions is it's a tubing mascara. So if you cry or if you wet your face, the mascara literally comes off like little black tubes, like little black sprinkles. It doesn't actually smear or melt into black liquid. It just comes off like little black tubes or little black sprinkles. It's awesome. So I was like, you know what? I want the drama, I want the spideriness, I want the black, I want the intensity, but I want to make sure that it doesn't ruin the rest of my face if I just so happen to cry, which maybe happened. All right, you guys, it was a special time, okay? It was a special time. I got a little lump in my throat because Parker had to say his part first, and so that just kind of disarmed me completely. And it wasn't like we were saying anything unique or, oh no, what's going on? My bronzer's broken. Obviously, for the special day, I went in with Charlotte Tilbury's Bronze and Glow. What the heck? Okay, you guys, look at my face right now. I'm not a big fan of contour. I'm not a big fan of bronzing. I'm not a big fan of defining my face. I have a long oval face. I don't have prominent cheekbones. I want you guys to see the difference when I use this little bad boy on this face. Because right now I'm like, man, my face looks okay. I kind of like it. However, when you go in with just the littlest bit of product, you guys, this thing lasts me probably the whole year. I've only bought this 2 or 3 times in my entire life, and it lasts me for a very long time. And the highlighter in here is actually pretty good too. I'm gonna go in with this multitask brush. Do you guys see there's no powder here and then there's powder on this side? So it's like on half of it. So the half that has the powder is also gonna be the back of my face. So not like this, where the powder would be heaviest here. Like this, where the powder would be heaviest here. These are hacks for those of you that aren't professional. I don't want this to sound negative and have any negative connotation, but these are hacks for like normal people, people that aren't professionally trained, people that are just like you and I sitting at home playing with makeup. I took this brush and you can see it has a flat side and a chubby side. You see the little crimp on the brush itself. So kind of give it a pinch and you concentrate the powder on one side versus the other. So the heaviest side where the powder is the side that's gonna go closest to your ear. So you want the heaviest part of the powder to be here to give you a sunken look so that your cheekbone pops. So you're creating almost like a light trick. So we're gonna go in like this, right here, right above your ear, and kind of go back and forth. If you mess up, it's fine. Just start again. You know, it's no big deal. So that's kind of a trick that I learned for myself because I was like, man, what if I go too far? Like in some videos, you could tell I have contour powder all the way down here. And that's literally what you don't want to do. You don't want to look like a puppet or a dummy or one of those mannequins. You know, the ones where like, you keep your mouth shut, but you're the voice of the dummy. You know what is that? Ventriloquist. A ventriloquist. Wow. So all I do is go right there in this little area right here, about halfway down. Because it's powder, it moves a little bit further down on its own, but that's all I do. I mean, you guys, it's not that serious. Do you see the difference? Look at how chubby it looks over here. Not chubby, I'm using that loosely, but look at how it looks over here. And then look at over here. Do you see what it kind of looks like it dips in? It looks like I have a cheekbone right here. I really don't. They're the same face. So that's the difference with just a little bit of bronzing powder, which you can do, or contour powder, whatever, if you're using the appropriate makeup item. And your powder doesn't have to be gray. Do you guys remember that? Like you have to have this specific gray toned powder. There was this NYX powder that was so sought after and it was always sold out. It has to be like a greenish, grayish toned powder so that it looks like a shadow versus a bronzer. And I'm like, just don't go too deep. You know, take a color that's just a little bit darker, but just don't go too heavy on it. Just a light little stroke. And you'll right away see the difference. That little, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying. Y'all, it really is that easy, I promise. Makeup should be fun. It shouldn't be stressful. You shouldn't be worried about getting it right because we all make mistakes. Y'all, I need to do a video where I show you guys all of the I've done with my face. It's fun, who cares, you know? If you can't look back at those pictures and be like, listen, that's what was in style back then, Susan, then you're not doing it right. I went in with Rockateur from Benefit. That was the blush that I decided to use for my special day. I just love this blush. I love how it smells. I love how it looks because it has that beautiful glowy rosy tone to it. You know, it's just so pretty and it's so friendly to use. You really can't overdo it with this blush. And for me to say that is a big statement. That is a big, bold statement. For me to say it's really hard to overdo it with this blush, it really is. It's so light, but it has the perfect shade of rosy to it, like rosy tint. And that, I think it's because it's so glowy that it's very forgiving in the blendiness department. Blendiness? You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say. I use the RMS Beauty Highlighting Powder in the shade Grand Dam. This is what it looks like. I got mine at Sephora, I think. No, Sephora has it. I got mine at Full Lane with 2 of my girlfriends. And the reason that I wanted to use this highlighter was because for our engagement in Mexico, I also used an RMS highlighter. I used the highlighter quad, the one that's like a cream. It's like a quad of 4 creamy highlighters. That's what I used on my face for our beach pictures when Parker proposed over a year ago. And so I was like, okay, I'm one of those corny people that needs things to like come full circle and like have a connection and be all like matchy or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I used RMS for our engagement pictures and you guys freaked out. You were like, what's that highlighter? And RMS, I have to give it to them. They know what they're doing when it comes to highlighting. All right, you guys, we are almost done. Almost. 2 more things and we are fully done with this look. This I did for kicks. I am not a big believer in setting sprays. I think they work, but I also think if you do a good job on your makeup, it shouldn't be a huge problem where you need a setting spray. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have super oily skin, so my skin doesn't break down makeup looks. But I was like, you know what? If I can stack the deck, I'm going to. It's kind of like wearing a mask right now. If you tell me that wearing a mask is gonna keep others safe and it's gonna keep me safe, and I don't have any guarantees that that's true, but it is a possibility, I don't care. If there's a possibility that I could, by myself, little old me, keep somebody safe, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna make that choice, you know? And so I was like, you know, it's our wedding day, and if you tell me that a setting spray is going to keep my makeup on for a long time, I'm also gonna take that risk. Now, I did my makeup at 6 a.m. Our wedding was at 10, and we were back at the cabin in Oklahoma, I would say around 6. And I'll show you guys my face after I ziplined in 100-degree weather. So if I was a skeptic before, after ziplining in 100-degree weather and having my makeup on for 12 hours and my makeup still looked like that, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it had been 12 hours and I was outside in hot weather in Oklahoma. It was 100 degrees. That's kind of a miracle, right? All right, you guys, so you're wondering, well, why did she tie her hair back? Why is she being so dramatic? Oh, I'm also gonna cover the top of my head. My hair is super thin. I cannot put many products in it without it getting messed up, ruined, stuck together. It ruins the texture. It makes my curls come back, like any sort of moisture. Like if I run from the entrance of a store to my car and it's raining and my hair was dried, blow dried or blown out, then the curls come back. Like it can't hang. My hair can't hang for anything. So I cover my hair because it does ruin the cleanliness of it if I put setting spray on it. Anyway, I use the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is just a specific limited edition scent in summer solstice, but the All Nighter spray, you guys, believe the hype. So I went in with this before I do my lips. And you wanna have something sturdy nearby, cardboard, maybe something like this. This used to be a planner cover, something thick that can actually profusely blow strong wind in your face is what you want. So I don't know why there's so much buildup to this, but literally this is how much effort I put into it so I don't ruin my hair. Careful with those lashes, you don't want to re-wet them. You guys, aggressively, you want to dry it as quickly as possible. Do you see the wetness on my face? The wetness! Oh my gosh! All right, so once you feel your face isn't wet anymore, you could tell, like my arms are sticky right now. If that got on your hair, it would totally just ruin the party, y'all, let me tell you. So, pro tip, not necessarily a pro because I'm not a pro. If you are using a setting spray and you have sensitive Sally hair like I do, cover your hair. Heck, even if you don't have sensitive hair, cover your hair because you're literally spraying your face with hairspray. And if your hair doesn't need hairspray right now, all you're gonna do is ruin your look. Let me tell you. All right, you guys, last thing, last and final pro move, pro tip is a lip color that's gonna last while you talk, while you wear a mask. For me, that was what the most important is. I wanted it to be a lip color that was flattering, that I really enjoyed, but that was also low maintenance, that I didn't have to worry about getting it on Parker or getting it on my face mask. So what I did, and I went super simple with Huda Beauty's liquid lipstick in Trophy Wife. Kind of fitting, am I right? Plus I should probably stop talking. And that is all I put on my face for my elopement. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. This liquid lipstick, my last tip, I guess I would say, is takes a little bit to dry. So you want to do a thin layer and then reapply if needed, or you want to take the time to blot any excess product off so it doesn't get on your teeth, or you want to, I think I just like blowing my hair in the wind like this. You want to blow it out just a little bit so that it actually sets on your face before you do anything else, before you kiss your husband, before you put on a face mask. You want to make sure that it's fully set or fully dry. Now, my last wholehearted, genuine tip is, if this is your wedding day and you want to make sure that you're going to look back on these pictures and like them, enjoy them, and not necessarily laugh and be like, well, that's what was the trend back then. I would say give your money to someone that does this for a living. Someone that does makeup, wedding makeup, you know, for weddings, for special occasions. There are so many amazing professionals that excel at doing this profession, that do such a good job, that are able to enhance your natural features, that know exactly what they're doing, how to do it, to color match you perfectly, to apply lashes perfectly. There are so many people that this is what they genuinely love to do. So if you have it in your budget to hire a professional, I recommend you do. Parker and I just decided to elope. You know, it was a courthouse wedding. Nobody was there, nobody, with the exception of the judge and our photographer friend Connie. Nobody was there. And so I wanted to make sure that I looked the way I looked at that moment in time, and I did my own makeup and I felt confident in the way that I did it. But I've also been doing this job for the last almost 8 years. So I already know how to play with it. I've been recording myself doing it for 8 years. So I know what looks great, how things translate. Like this color here is a very beautiful deep mauve, but the way it translates on camera is a lot different. And I love the way that it looks with the Naked Heat. And the Naked Heat is an orange tone palette. So you wouldn't think these things play well together, but if you're able to be familiar with these colors and how they come off on camera and how they look and, you know, how they partner well together, then you'll do a great job. So anyway, I wanted to share what I did. I really want to emphasize that these aren't tips that I have for you guys as a professional. These aren't tips or products that I use because I recommend their longevity or any of that stuff. These are just products that I am a true fan of, and I wanted to use them on a special day. I love how they work together. I like how they look on my skin. I know they don't let me down, and they look great on pictures and stuff like that. So it was like a partnership of my favorite products. And so if you're looking for a wedding tutorial or a video on best products that are gonna last 22 hours on the best day of your life, this is probably not that video. However, there are a couple of these products here that I would highly recommend you add to your shopping cart, if not all of them. If you and I have the same skin tone, skin type, and the same preferences in products, these are all products that you need to have in your rotation. And that's it. Oh? I'm sorry, are we annoying you, sir? Is there a problem? Did you guys hear that? He's not very happy with the quality of this video. If you're happy with the quality of this video, I do have a huge favor to ask. Please make sure that you give us a like, subscribe to this channel, become a panda, and hang out with us for a while. Anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I really definitely enjoyed remembering this whole process with you guys. So I will make sure to list and link all these products in the description box below of this video. If you guys want to see the dress, the mask, and all of that other stuff in terms of our elopement, I will list that video or link that video in the description box below. But other than that, thank you guys so much for joining me in yet another ridiculous video. I love you guys so much. And you know what to do. If you found this video useful, entertaining, and learned something, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye.